Earth was always an outlier in the galactic hierarchy. While other civilizations in the cosmos had millennia to perfect their technologies and expand their territories, humanity had barely scratched the surface of interstellar travel. Among the sprawling empires and federations that ruled the stars, Earth was seen as little more than a curiosity, quaint, resourceful in its way, but laughably underpowered. The notion of Earth being a significant player in galactic affairs was dismissed as absurd. In the halls of alien councils and aboard the massive warships that patrolled the galaxy, Earth's reputation was a consistent punchline. Stories circulated of Earth's primitive weapons and patchwork fleets. The larger empires viewed humans as bold but foolish, trying to enter a game they were woefully underprepared for. Even smaller colonies, barely a fraction of the size of Earth's territories, scoffed at humanity's reliance on outdated alloys and rudimentary shielding technology. The underestimation was not entirely unwarranted. Earth had faced multiple conflicts in its brief time on the galactic stage, and the results were uninspiring at best. Skirmishes with minor factions ended in uneasy truces rather than decisive victories. When an alliance of neighboring planets sought to test Earth's mettle, they barely needed to deploy a fraction of their forces to bring humanity to the negotiating table. The image was clear. Earth was a species punching above its weight, a child at the adult table. Still, humanity was nothing if not resilient. While alien empires dismissed Earth's potential, there were quiet murmurs of something happening beneath the surface. Scientists, engineers, and strategists on Earth worked tirelessly in shadowed laboratories, driven not by glory but by survival. They knew that the galaxy would not remain tolerant of Earth's existence for long. Sooner or later, one empire or another would decide the planet's resources were worth the minimal effort it would take to conquer it. For humanity, the question was not if but when. Earth's leaders understood the stakes. With limited resources and no access to the galaxy's more advanced technologies, they had to rely on what they knew best: adaptability and ingenuity. The result was a project so secretive that even those involved in its creation barely knew its full scope. There were rumors, of course, whispers among Earth's military personnel about a weapon being developed, something entirely unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. But the specifics were guarded with almost paranoid zeal. The secrecy was born from necessity. Earth had no room for error, no margin for leaks. If word got out, even in the form of speculation, it would only accelerate the timelines of those who sought to conquer the planet. Humanity's only advantage was that no one saw them as a threat. The galaxy's collective overconfidence was the shield behind which this project thrived. The project itself was a testament to human determination. Faced with limited access to alien technologies, Earth scientists were forced to think outside the box. They couldn't replicate the sleek designs or hyper-efficient power sources of their intergalactic counterparts, so they didn't try. Instead, they leaned into what humanity had always excelled at: finding unconventional solutions to seemingly insurmountable problems. The result was a design that defied conventional wisdom. While other civilizations focused on agility and precision, Earth opted for raw power and endurance. The engineers pored over every detail, crafting something that would not only survive in battle but dominate it. They understood that Earth would only have one chance to make its mark, and failure was not an option. Every piece of the project, from its impenetrable armor to its devastating arsenal, was built with a singular purpose: to prove that humanity was not as fragile as the galaxy believed. The lead scientists on the project knew they were creating more than just a weapon; they were crafting a message. This wasn't about securing a single victory. It was about changing the narrative that had defined Earth since its first encounter with the galaxy. If humanity was to survive, it needed more than just technology; it needed respect. And respect, they realized, was something that had to be earned in a way no one could ignore. Despite the overwhelming odds, the work continued, driven by a mix of desperation and hope. The scientists worked day and night, their efforts fueled by the knowledge that their planet's survival hung in the balance. Every test, every recalibration, and every failed prototype brought them closer to their goal. They knew that time was running out, but they also knew that they couldn't afford to rush. The design had to be perfect, not just good enough. Throughout this process, Earth's leaders maintained an outward appearance of vulnerability. They continued to participate in galactic councils and trade negotiations, always playing the part of the underdog. It was a calculated move, designed to keep suspicions low and prevent any premature confrontations. The goal was to lull the galaxy into a false sense of security while the project neared completion. As the project approached its final stages, the anticipation within Earth's leadership grew. They knew the risks of unveiling such a weapon. It could provoke retaliation on a scale Earth had never seen before. But they also understood that the alternative, continued subjugation and ridicule, was not an option. This was humanity's moment to step out of the shadows and show the galaxy what it was truly capable of. Still, doubts lingered. Would it be enough? Could a single weapon shift the balance of power in a galaxy where entire civilizations had risen and fallen over the course of millennia? These questions haunted those involved, but they pressed on regardless. For them, failure was not just a professional setback, it was the potential end of their species. In the quiet moments, away from the prying eyes of the galaxy, Earth's leaders and scientists allowed themselves brief glimpses of hope. They envisioned a future where humanity was no longer the laughingstock of the galaxy, where Earth's name commanded respect rather than derision. They knew that such a future would not come easily, but they also knew that it was within their grasp. All they needed was for the project to succeed. The galaxy might see Earth as a relic of a bygone era, but those on the planet knew better. They had spent years preparing for the moment when they could shatter that perception and rewrite their place in the stars. For now, though, they waited, knowing that the time to reveal their creation was drawing near. The galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. The conflict began as most others had, with Earth's enemies underestimating its resolve. Galactic empires had always approached battles with Earth as an exercise in resource allocation, deploying only as much force as was necessary to subdue a weaker opponent. To them, Earth was a minor inconvenience, a nuisance rather than a challenge. This time, their approach was no different, sending fleets that were formidable but not overwhelming. After all, they believed, there was no need to waste resources on a planet that had never posed a real threat. For the alien commanders, this was supposed to be routine. Earth's defenses, although resilient in past encounters, had always been predictable. Their shields were passable, their weapons serviceable, and their strategies a mix of bravery and recklessness that often bordered on desperation. From the perspective of their adversaries, humanity's ingenuity and stubbornness were the only qualities that made them mildly interesting, though never intimidating. What the attacking empire didn't realize was how much had changed since their last encounter. Earth, fully aware of its reputation, had been quietly preparing for this moment. While alien forces confidently advanced, they were met with a weapon unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. The Empire's fleets, accustomed to cutting through Earth's defenses with ease, were suddenly faced with something that defied all expectations. The first indication of trouble came when their standard weapons failed to penetrate Earth's new defenses. Shields and armor that had once crumbled under pressure now held firm. Alien commanders, puzzled by the unexpected resistance, ordered their forces to intensify their assault. More firepower was unleashed, more advanced tactics deployed, but nothing seemed to work. Their weapons ricocheted harmlessly off the surface of what they thought were Earth's rudimentary machines. Confusion turned to frustration, and frustration soon gave way to unease. This unease reached a breaking point when Earth's response came, not through traditional fleets or missiles, but through a single, massive entity. It moved with a deliberate confidence that conveyed a clear message: Earth was no longer playing the role of the underdog. This was something entirely new, something that demanded to be taken seriously. Alien soldiers and commanders alike found themselves staring at a weapon they hadn't anticipated, its capabilities still unknown but its presence undeniably commanding. It wasn't just the size or design of the weapon that stunned the alien forces. It was the way it operated, defying the expectations set by centuries of galactic warfare. This was no mere brute force machine. Its movements were precise, its responses almost anticipatory, as though it had studied the enemy's tactics long before they were deployed. It absorbed damage that would have obliterated Earth's previous defenses and retaliated with force that shattered even the most advanced alien technologies. As the battle unfolded, the full extent of the weapon's capabilities became clear. It wasn't just resistant to attack, it was adaptive, learning from its adversaries in real time. The strategies that had worked against Earth in the past were rendered obsolete, and the galaxy's most advanced weapons proved futile against its relentless onslaught. For the first time in living memory, an alien empire found itself on the defensive against Earth, scrambling to regroup and reassess. The shockwaves of this unexpected reversal rippled through the ranks of the alien forces. Commanders issued frantic orders, attempting to coordinate countermeasures against a weapon they barely understood. Their confidence, once unshakable, began to erode as one strategy after another failed. Panic set in as they realized they were facing not just a technological marvel, but a symbol of Earth's determination to no longer be dismissed. The weapon's presence was transformative, not just in terms of its immediate impact on the battlefield but also in how it shifted the perception of Earth's capabilities. What had once been seen as a backwater planet, barely worth the attention of the galaxy's great powers, was now forcing one of those powers into retreat. The narrative that had defined Earth for so long, one of weakness and inferiority, was being rewritten in real time. Alien forces, despite their initial arrogance, were forced to confront a new reality. Their attacks became less coordinated as morale plummeted. Soldiers who had entered the battle with smug certainty now hesitated, unsure of how to engage an enemy that seemed invulnerable. Even their most advanced warships, equipped with weapons designed to crush entire fleets, found themselves powerless against a single, unstoppable force. The psychological impact of this shift was profound. For the first time, Earth wasn't just surviving, it was dominating. And in doing so, it was exposing the vulnerabilities of its adversaries. The galaxy's great powers had always relied on their technological superiority to maintain control, but now that superiority was being challenged in a way they had never anticipated. Earth was no longer just a participant in galactic affairs. It was a contender, capable of holding its own against even the most formidable opponents. As the battle drew to a close, it became clear that this was not just a victory for Earth but a turning point for the galaxy. The weapon, now proven in combat, was more than just a military asset. It was a statement, a declaration that Earth was no longer content to be dismissed or underestimated. The message was impossible to ignore. Humanity had arrived, and it wasn't going anywhere. The alien empire that had initiated the conflict retreated, its fleets battered and its pride wounded. In the aftermath, there was no denying the significance of what had just occurred. This wasn't just a battle, it was a redefinition of Earth's place in the galaxy. For those who had mocked humanity's perceived weaknesses, it was a humbling lesson in the dangers of underestimating an opponent with nothing to lose and everything to prove. The galaxy, now forced to reckon with a new and formidable Earth, found itself on the brink of a paradigm shift. The implications of this battle would ripple far beyond the immediate conflict, shaping the course of interstellar politics and warfare for generations to come. The era of dismissing Earth as a minor player was over, and a new chapter in galactic history had begun. The news of Earth's unexpected victory spread through the galaxy at an unprecedented speed, shaking the very foundations of established interstellar power structures. Galactic communication networks were abuzz with reports, analyses, and rumors about the confrontation. Empires that had barely spared a thought for Earth suddenly found themselves scrambling to understand how a species they had dismissed as irrelevant had achieved something so monumental. The scale of the upset was so profound that it demanded attention from even the most distant civilizations. Within hours of the battle's conclusion, theories began to emerge, each more speculative than the last. Some believed Earth had acquired alien technology far beyond its known capabilities, perhaps through secret alliances or covert operations. Others suggested that Earth had reverse-engineered weapons systems stolen from galactic powers, using them to leapfrog centuries of development. The most paranoid among them claimed that Earth was working with an unknown, advanced civilization that had deliberately hidden its existence until now. While the specifics varied, the underlying theme was consistent: Earth's victory could not possibly have been achieved without external help. Theories turned into debates, and debates into strategic discussions as galactic leaders convened emergency councils to address the implications of Earth's newfound power. For some, the revelation was a wake-up call. Empires that had long ignored Earth now sought to establish diplomatic ties, hoping to secure alliances or at least avoid future conflicts. Trade emissaries were dispatched with unprecedented urgency, bearing offers of resources, technology, and cooperation. These overtures were often laced with a subtle undercurrent of unease, as even the most genuine attempts at diplomacy were driven by the desire to avoid provoking Earth further. For others, however, the response was less conciliatory. Factions that viewed Earth's rise as a direct threat to the established order began to discuss countermeasures. Plans were drawn up to monitor Earth more closely, with some advocating for preemptive strikes to neutralize its newfound capabilities. These discussions, though cloaked in the language of security and stability, were driven by fear. The idea that Earth could disrupt the carefully maintained balance of power was deeply unsettling, and some were willing to go to great lengths to ensure that humanity's rise was short-lived. The psychological impact of the battle extended far beyond the political elite. Among the general populace of the galaxy, reactions ranged from awe to disbelief. In many worlds, Earth became a topic of fascination, with media outlets and academic institutions alike devoting significant resources to studying humanity's culture, history, and technological progress. What had once been a largely ignored planet now found itself the subject of intense scrutiny. While some viewed Earth as an inspiring underdog, others saw it as a dangerous wild card capable of upending the galaxy's fragile equilibrium. The ripple effects of the battle were felt most acutely in military circles. Commanders and strategists across the galaxy scrambled to analyze the conflict, seeking to understand how Earth's weapon had performed so effectively against an empire that should have easily overpowered it. Reports were dissected, simulations were run, and entire fleets were placed on high alert as preparations began for potential encounters with Earth's forces. The emphasis was no longer on how to exploit Earth's weaknesses but on how to counter its strengths. As part of these efforts, alien scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to uncover potential vulnerabilities in Earth's new technology. They examined every piece of data they could obtain, searching for flaws that could be exploited in future conflicts. This task was made more difficult by the fact that much of Earth's weaponry remained shrouded in mystery. The secrecy that had surrounded its development now worked to Earth's advantage, leaving its adversaries guessing at the full extent of its capabilities. Amid the chaos, alliances began to shift in ways that few could have predicted. Smaller civilizations, long wary of the larger empires that dominated the galaxy, saw in Earth's victory a glimmer of hope. These factions began to reach out to humanity, offering their support in exchange for protection or technological assistance. For them, Earth's rise represented a chance to challenge the status quo and assert their own independence in a galaxy that had long marginalized them. Larger empires, meanwhile, found themselves at a crossroads. Some sought to integrate Earth into their existing alliances, hoping to channel its newfound power toward their own goals. Others took a more adversarial approach, forming coalitions designed to contain or isolate humanity before it could grow even stronger. The result was a galaxy-wide realignment, with Earth at the center of a complex web of shifting loyalties and agendas. Within Earth's leadership, the sudden influx of attention presented both opportunities and challenges. While the offers of alliances and trade agreements were tempting, they came with strings attached. Earth's leaders were acutely aware that their newfound position in the galaxy was precarious, and that any misstep could lead to disastrous consequences. They faced the daunting task of navigating a landscape that was as unfamiliar as it was volatile, balancing the need for security with the desire for growth. At the same time, there was a growing recognition that Earth's victory had not gone unnoticed by the galaxy's more aggressive powers. The risk of retaliation was very real, and preparations began to ensure that humanity could defend itself against the inevitable attempts to reassert dominance. Earth scientists and engineers, buoyed by the success of their initial efforts, redoubled their focus on innovation, knowing that the weapon they had created was only the beginning. If humanity was to maintain its position, it would need to continue pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Despite the challenges, there was also a sense of cautious optimism. For the first time in its history, humanity had earned a seat at the table, not as a subordinate but as a force to be reckoned with. The shift in perception was undeniable, and while Earth's path forward was fraught with uncertainty, the opportunity to shape its own destiny had finally arrived. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, and in doing so, it had given Earth the chance to prove itself in ways no one had anticipated. The battle's aftermath marked the beginning of a new era, one in which Earth's actions would no longer be dictated by the whims of more powerful civilizations. The galaxy's empires, once so confident in their superiority, now found themselves grappling with the reality that humanity was no longer content to play a passive role. The implications were vast and far-reaching, and while the full extent of the changes was yet to be seen, one thing was clear: Earth's rise was a development that no one could afford to ignore. The foundation of Earth's unprecedented technological leap rested on an approach born out of necessity and resourcefulness. With limited access to advanced alien materials and technology, Earth's scientists were forced to work with what they had, crafting solutions that prioritized efficiency, durability, and adaptability. The creation of Earth's revolutionary weapon was a testament to the ingenuity and determination of its people, combining a blend of existing technologies with groundbreaking innovations. The underlying principle was straightforward: if Earth could not match the galaxy's civilizations in terms of raw resources, it would outthink them. Earth's engineers focused on maximizing the potential of terrestrial resources, applying advanced computational models to design alloys and composites far stronger than anything the planet had previously produced. The weapon's outer shell was constructed from a unique combination of materials, including a proprietary nanostructure designed to absorb and disperse energy from incoming attacks. This gave it an unparalleled ability to withstand direct hits that would obliterate conventional armor. Unlike the sleek, fragile designs preferred by other civilizations, Earth's design philosophy centered on brute resilience, ensuring that no amount of concentrated firepower would break through its defenses easily. Beneath the armor, Earth's scientists implemented systems that allowed for rapid adaptability in combat. A neural network-based intelligence core, built on cutting-edge machine learning algorithms, was integrated into the weapon. This allowed it to analyze enemy movements, predict attack patterns, and adjust its own tactics in real time. The intelligence core was not just a computational marvel, it also represented a paradigm shift in how Earth approached warfare. By delegating tactical adjustments to the system, the weapon could respond with a precision and speed far beyond human capabilities, making it a formidable opponent in any confrontation. The weapon's offensive capabilities were equally innovative. Earth's research teams developed a hybrid energy-based weapon system capable of generating immense destructive power while consuming minimal resources. Unlike the energy weapons of alien civilizations, which often relied on rare and expensive materials, Earth's system utilized common terrestrial elements, refined and enhanced through proprietary techniques. This not only ensured a sustainable supply of ammunition but also gave the weapon an edge in prolonged engagements. The ability to maintain high levels of firepower without relying on scarce resources was a crucial factor in its design. Another defining feature was its modularity. Earth's scientists recognized that no single weapon system could remain effective indefinitely in the face of rapidly evolving threats. To address this, they designed the weapon with interchangeable components, allowing it to be upgraded or reconfigured as needed. This ensured that Earth could continue to innovate and adapt without the need to build entirely new systems from scratch. The modularity also allowed for flexibility in its deployment, enabling it to be tailored to specific missions or enemies, further enhancing its effectiveness. The weapon's power source was another critical breakthrough. Earth's engineers had developed an advanced fusion reactor that provided an almost limitless supply of energy while remaining compact enough to fit within the weapon's design constraints. The reactor's efficiency and stability were the result of decades of incremental advancements in fusion technology, culminating in a system that far surpassed anything humanity had previously achieved. This energy independence not only ensured the weapon's operational reliability but also freed Earth from reliance on external resources, a vital consideration given the potential for future blockades or embargoes. Despite its many strengths, the weapon's development was not without challenges. Earth scientists faced countless setbacks during its design and construction, from materials failures to system integration issues. Every obstacle forced them to think creatively, often leading to unexpected breakthroughs that further enhanced the weapon's capabilities. These challenges also reinforced the collaborative spirit that defined the project, with teams from diverse fields working together to overcome seemingly insurmountable problems. The result was not just a technological marvel but a symbol of humanity's ability to unite in the face of adversity. The weapon's success also highlighted the unique strengths of human adaptability. While many alien civilizations relied on rigid hierarchies and pre-established doctrines, Earth's decentralized approach allowed for greater flexibility and innovation. This cultural difference proved to be a significant advantage, enabling Earth to develop solutions that alien powers had overlooked or dismissed. The willingness to take risks, challenge conventions, and embrace unconventional ideas was a key factor in the project's success, demonstrating that humanity's greatest strength lay in its capacity for creativity. Beyond the technical achievements, the weapon embodied the resilience and determination of a species that had been underestimated for far too long. For decades, Earth had been seen as a minor player in the galactic arena, a planet whose ambitions far exceeded its abilities. The weapon's creation was a direct response to that perception, a declaration that humanity was no longer content to be dismissed. It was more than a tool of war. It was a statement of intent, a symbol of Earth's resolve to carve out its own place in the galaxy. The implications of the weapon extended beyond the battlefield. Its success inspired a new wave of innovation across Earth, with scientists and engineers building on the project's breakthroughs to develop technologies that could benefit civilian applications. The advancements in materials science, energy generation, and artificial intelligence had far-reaching potential, promising to elevate humanity's standard of living and accelerate its progress in fields ranging from medicine to space exploration. The project had not only secured Earth's survival, but also laid the foundation for a brighter future. Despite its triumphs, Earth's leaders and scientists were acutely aware of the challenges that lay ahead. The weapon's existence had irrevocably changed the galaxy's perception of humanity, and with that change came new risks and responsibilities. The galaxy's powers would undoubtedly seek to counter or replicate Earth's advancements, and the possibility of an arms race loomed large. To maintain its newfound position, Earth would need to continue innovating, refining its strategies, and building alliances that could ensure its security in an increasingly hostile environment. Earth also faced ethical dilemmas regarding the weapon's use. While it had been designed as a deterrent, its immense power carried the potential for devastating consequences if misused. The question of how to wield such power responsibly weighed heavily on Earth's leadership, prompting discussions about the need for checks and balances to prevent its misuse. These debates underscored the broader challenge of navigating the galaxy's complex political landscape while maintaining humanity's core values. Earth's emergence as a force to be reckoned with reverberated across the galaxy, reshaping how civilizations viewed the once dismissed planet. The respect Earth earned, though hard-fought, was tinged with wariness and a measure of apprehension. The galactic community, used to seeing humanity as an afterthought, now viewed the planet as both an enigma and a potential power broker. Diplomatic channels buzzed with requests for dialogue, overtures for alliances, and covert investigations to assess Earth's long-term plans. This sudden shift in attention brought new opportunities but also placed immense pressure on humanity to navigate its precarious rise responsibly. Humanity's unexpected ascent fundamentally changed the dynamics of interstellar politics. Smaller civilizations that had long existed on the fringes of galactic power found new inspiration in Earth's success. They began advocating for greater autonomy, seeing in Earth's resilience a blueprint for standing against the oppressive dominance of larger empires. Earth quickly became a symbol of resistance, its actions sparking movements that challenged the existing hierarchy. This role as a beacon for the marginalized placed Earth in a complex position, as these smaller civilizations sought support and solidarity in their quest for independence. Larger galactic powers, however, took a more calculated view. Some sought to forge alliances with Earth, recognizing the strategic value of aligning with a civilization that had demonstrated such potential. Offers of trade, technology sharing, and military cooperation poured in, often veiled in flattery but driven by pragmatism. These overtures were not without ulterior motives, as many of these powers aimed to either influence Earth's decisions or keep its advancements in check. Others viewed Earth's rise with hostility, perceiving it as a destabilizing force that disrupted the delicate balance of power. These empires began preparing for contingencies, developing strategies to counter Earth's growing influence and contain its ambitions. Earth's leadership faced the monumental task of navigating this uncharted territory. The sudden influx of attention was as much a threat as it was an opportunity. Missteps in diplomacy could easily lead to isolation or provoke conflicts that Earth was not yet prepared to handle. Balancing the need to strengthen its position while maintaining the trust and goodwill of potential allies required a delicate and measured approach. The galaxy's eyes were on humanity, and every decision carried significant consequences. Internally, Earth's society grappled with its newfound place in the galaxy. While there was a sense of pride in what had been achieved, there was also an awareness of the immense responsibility that came with it. Public discourse shifted toward debates about how humanity should wield its influence. Some argued for a cautious approach, prioritizing peace and cooperation to avoid unnecessary conflicts. Others believed Earth needed to capitalize on its momentum, leveraging its position to secure resources, technology, and alliances that could ensure its long-term survival. The need for continued innovation became a cornerstone of Earth's strategy. The breakthrough that had propelled humanity into prominence was only the beginning, and resting on that success was not an option. Research and development efforts were accelerated, with a focus on improving existing technologies and exploring new frontiers. From artificial intelligence to energy systems, Earth scientists pushed the boundaries of what was possible, knowing that their advancements would be critical in maintaining the planet's relevance in the galaxy's rapidly evolving landscape. As Earth prepared for the future, its leaders recognized the importance of fostering a sense of unity and purpose among its population. The challenges ahead required a collective effort, and humanity's ability to adapt and innovate would be its greatest strength. Education and collaboration became central to this effort, with resources directed toward nurturing the next generation of scientists, engineers, and diplomats. The goal was not just to ensure survival but to position Earth as a leader capable of contributing meaningfully to the galaxy's development. The weapon that had catalyzed Earth's rise became a focal point of both admiration and controversy. Its existence raised ethical questions that sparked intense debate within Earth's society and beyond. While it had been created as a deterrent, the sheer power it represented carried the risk of misuse. Some feared that its presence would escalate tensions, leading to an arms race that could destabilize the galaxy further. Others argued that its very existence was a necessary safeguard against aggression, a reminder to the galaxy that Earth was not to be underestimated. These debates highlighted the broader challenge of balancing strength with responsibility. Earth's leaders understood that their actions would set a precedent, not only for humanity but also for how the galaxy would respond to emerging powers in the future. The question of how to wield influence without succumbing to the pitfalls of arrogance or overreach was one that weighed heavily on decision-makers. They were keenly aware that the same respect Earth had earned could easily turn into resentment if they failed to tread carefully. The threat of retaliation from those who viewed Earth's rise as a provocation loomed large. While the initial victory had secured a temporary reprieve, it was unlikely that the galaxy's more aggressive powers would remain passive indefinitely. Preparations for potential conflicts continued in earnest, with Earth's military and strategic planners working to ensure that humanity would be ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. Defense systems were upgraded, alliances were carefully cultivated, and efforts were made to anticipate and counter the strategies of potential adversaries. Despite these challenges, there was an undercurrent of optimism about what the future could hold. Humanity's ability to rise from obscurity to prominence had proven its resilience and adaptability, qualities that would be crucial in navigating the complexities of galactic affairs. Earth's leaders sought to leverage this momentum to promote a vision of cooperation and mutual progress, using their platform to advocate for solutions that address shared challenges like resource scarcity, environmental sustainability, and technological development. Earth's new role as a galactic power also brought the opportunity to reshape perceptions of humanity. For centuries, alien civilizations had viewed Earth through a lens of skepticism and condescension. Now, humanity had the chance to redefine its identity, presenting itself as a species capable of not only surviving but thriving in the face of adversity. This shift in perception was not just about securing respect, it was about forging a legacy that future generations could build upon. The galaxy's response to Earth's rise was far from uniform, reflecting the diverse interests and priorities of its civilizations. Some saw in humanity a potential partner, others a rival, and still others an unknown quantity that defied easy categorization. What was clear, however, was that Earth could no longer be ignored. The planet had entered a new chapter, one that demanded vigilance, creativity, and an unwavering commitment to its ideals.